Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. How are you?
Goofy, how are you?
I'm not as goofy.
Yet. There's still time.
Well, I'm not the one drinking. You keep looking away. Like, your mic is over here. And you're
I'm aware.
Okay. All right, as long as you're good with it. All right, whatever.
Proceed.
So anyway, we're here to talk. It's the new year. New year.
Is this the first episode of 2025?
It is the first episode of 2025, as a matter of fact. Yes.
I have been thinking to myself for a long time, because I listen to every episode.
You've mentioned that, yes.
And I've noticed that in addition to the slapping of my thigh and the run-on sentences, among other things, I slur my words a lot.
And the sighing.
Yeah. I slur. I don't enunciate. I don't open my jaw. I don't really. I kind of,
Maybe it's because
mumble.
Maybe it's because your beard keeps touching your neck when you talk, so you don't open your mouth as wide as you should.
I also don't do any jaw exercises. That is not licensed to make a joke.
I wasn't gonna make a joke.
No, but our listeners will.
I'm sure somebody will. But yeah.
So, the rules.
We do have rules.
Welcome to civility.
Welcome to 2025, where the rules are exactly the same. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. You want to talk about something.
Well, first of all, how's your year been?
All 5 days of it?
All 5 days. Well, you said today is the 11th day of Christmas?
Still only the 5th day of the year.
Okay, but how's your year been?
2025?
Yes.
It's been a little rough, I'm not going to lie.
Really? Well, let's get into that for a little bit.
Well, I haven't been feeling well.
Explain.
I have RA.
Yes,
I have. Well, I don't think everyone knows. We've never actually talked about it.
Well, I mean, you mentioned you got your diagnosis in one of the last 2 episodes.
We've literally did not mention what any of my diagnoses were.
You definitely mentioned that you had RA.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I know so, because at least one of the last 2 episodes, I started the episode off with, it was the year-end episode, and said you got your diagnosis.
Yeah, but we didn't say what the diagnosis was.
Okay. I can't deny or confirm that, especially in my weakened state. Compromised state.
All right. Are you compromised?
I'm working.
Do you feel vulnerable right now?
I'm working on getting compromised.
Okay.
I've been waiting for 9 hours to do this.
But yeah, I have RA.
For those who don't know, what does that mean?
It's rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
It's an autoimmune disorder, and it sucks.
Why does it suck?
Well, I have swelling in my joints, and
this impedes you from doing what? Everything?
Yeah, living my best life, I think, is, it's a little tough. It's more of a stretch than it should be for people of my age, I guess.
Your highs are pretty high and your lows are significantly low.
My lows suck. I have been dealing with the past for about a week now. I have been running a low-grade fever, especially at night. It's making it very difficult to get any restful sleep. And
I can think of something else that's making it difficult to get restful sleep.
She's old and I love her. It doesn't matter.
Listen, I'm used to it at this point, but
yeah.
Those of you who have dogs,
I have been, especially today, I've been severely fatigued. I'm just sort of, I feel like I'm dragging a lot. I equate it to like depression. Like, the fatigue feels like anyone who has had, clinical depression and everything, just that sluggish,
it's right up there,
exhausted feeling and everything. And I had to work today, which really didn't make things easy. The joints in my hands and my knees especially have been feeling very hot, which is extremely uncomfortable.
So you're just going through a gauntlet of symptoms and emotions, and
persistently.
Are you looking for people to recognize and sympathize and kind of like...
I don't need people's
I don't.
sympathy.
I don't necessarily want to say commiserate, but you want people to understand
Oh,
what it is.
I do not want anyone commiserating. I can tell you that right now. The last thing I am interested in, given for the duration of my life that I have been dealing with this and finally have, you know, been lucky enough to have a doctor actually put a label on it, finally, the last thing I want is anyone trying to tell me they know how I feel.
Yeah,
Literally the last thing I want anyone having the balls to tell me.
we went to open mic on Friday, and you looked like you were ready to go home from the minute you walked through the door.
I was not okay going out in the first place, but I went because I have a goal that I am determined to be optimistic, and it's extremely difficult on some days. And I came straight from working almost 11 hours to going to the bar, and a place I really didn't necessarily want to be in the condition I was in. It's not that I didn't want to go out, but
You wanted to be in better
I
shape?
wanted to feel better being there. Yes. And it's been really tough. And I I don't think that I am like short fused or anything like that necessarily, but like I there are things I find intolerable at this point.
To me, that's very reminiscent of the conversation I was having with Eric before we went to the bar, because we're all getting older. We're all approaching, I guess, middle age. But he said he quit drinking, what, I think 2 years ago.
He quit drinking. No, it was 3 years. It's been over 3 years now.
Well, it's been at least
good for you,
it's
man.
been at least two. And he's describing it to me like, he can't go to the same places, he can't be around the same people. It's like triggers for him almost.
Our wedding was actually the first night he went out after getting sober. Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's places I avoid like the plague because they remind me of things and people that I don't want to be reminded of. Don't want to fall back into bad habits and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's this general sense among our circle of friends. It's just like, going out is just not the same anymore because we're more susceptible to aches and pains and these things that are happening to us as we get older. And it's just like, we don't have to be closing down the bar every Friday night like we did in our 20s.
But that's just it, is that there are still people our age who are determined to still do that.
That I'll never get. I mean, I understand it.
And it's like, yo, have fun. But the rest of us kind of want a good night's sleep.
Like after that, and big, shout out to Eric, because I told him, I said, we've been giving you,
we have
shout
actually,
outs for a while. He's like, oh, I'm gonna have to start listening now. Where was I going with this? Until that conversation with him, I've never really been able to understand the people who are like, I can't even have one drink. Like it's actually a disease, and if I have one, that's me off to the races, sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like like I just said, it wasn't really until this conversation that it really kind of like hit me, because people have told me that I've had a problem with alcohol and drugs and things like that. And the funny thing is that everything I stopped voluntarily. Like I never had problems because I could stop whenever I wanted, and then I did.
Yeah.
So that story never resonated with me because I'd never understood people who had that problem where it's like, you can't even just have one. You can't go to this place even for 5 minutes. You can't be in the vicinity of that trigger because it will go off.
It's very subjective, and it's very individual.
So like when you're talking about RA, in my estimation, it's right up there with shingles. Like, if you haven't had shingles, like up until I got it, you'd had it twice.
Yeah.
And until I'd had it, there's no way I could equate anything to it.
But that's just it, is that, people hear that I have this condition, and it's the reactions to it are becoming wildly intolerable for me. And that's the emotional stress that it's putting on me. And it's sort of like, I guess this would be like one of the steps in my steps to acceptance of this new sort of lifestyle that I have to figure out how to abide by.
Because you can tell when someone's being genuine. Like if somebody says, "Oh my god, like I'm so sorry, like that must be awful," and like you can tell when someone's genuinely concerned about your well-being versus they're just saying it because it's something you're expected to say.
There are a lot of people, in my experience, there are a lot of people who have no idea what they're talking about, and they are the first ones to open their mouths. They are the first
They want it
ones.
on record.
They are the first ones to throw pity around and to patronize and to like unwarrantedly sympathize. Like, it's like if you told someone, "Oh, I have chronic migraines and I'm on medication for it," and they're like, "Yeah, I've had a migraine before. I got myself through it." It's like, go fuck yourself.
Like
you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
We were talking about this on the way home when I was just like, "Oh, I'm ready and raring to go." People love to complain. Like, granted, you and I complain about our jobs all the time. We complain about...
No. You and I vent.
Okay.
You and I do not complain because we're not here being like, "Oh, I'm going to bitch and moan about this and there's nothing I can do about it." It's like, no, you and I just vent so that it's not sitting on us.
But we work with plenty of people who do both.
Yes.
Probably more complaining than venting.
Yeah.
And, we were discussing in the car, why is that? It's because most people just love to hear themselves complain. And then we started talking about something that I'd never really thought of before.
What's that?
It's not just that people like to hear themselves talk. It's they're trying to see who's listening. So, we were talking about people getting rises out of other people and doing things for reactions and whatnot. And, bullies. I mean, we've done episodes about that.
Yeah.
But it's just like in more recent times is what has made this impression on me. It's that people are complaining in order to gauge who's actually paying attention.
You think they're trying to like elicit like comrades?
Doesn't matter what it is, really, what the justification is. Nobody likes to stand there and just listen to somebody on a soapbox, right? No matter what it is.
Well, I don't.
Exactly. So, I try and complain. Like, if I have a complaint about anything, I'd like to think that I have just cause for it.
Yeah.
Like, if I complain about something unfair happening at work, or, somebody getting away with something, or whatever it is, I've said to you many, many times over the years, I don't do anything, especially in retaliation, unless it's been done to me first. I don't provoke anybody. I don't go out of my way to... And now, you made a very interesting point that I hadn't thought about yet.
What's that?
Well, go ahead and say it.
What?
About my not knowing if I actually had
Oh,
set
yeah, no,
somebody
yeah.
off.
You made a comment about how you don't set people off. And my comment was
Not
that,
intentionally, no.
Yeah, but you don't know that you don't.
No, you're right. I don't know.
Because again, it's on somebody who is affected by... If person B is affected by person A, it is on person B to say something or not. Now, if person B staunchly refuses to say something to person A, that's on them. And if they're going to bitch and moan about it, then...
Behind closed doors where
nobody... then it's like, ugh. It's like, no, nut up and do the right thing. Possibly leading towards a resolution. Who fucking knows? Maybe not, but maybe so. But you made a comment that
that I don't piss
you
people
don't piss people off, and I guarantee
I probably do.
that you do. I guarantee that you do, but they're just not saying anything.
But I just as equivocally
okay,
assure you that I do not, under any circumstance, go out of my way to provoke someone or set someone off intentionally unless it's been done to me first.
Now, here's this whole chicken and the egg situation also, is that so you specifically, you act strictly in retaliation.
It depends on the circumstances and what it is, but generally, yes, that is
strictly true. You act retaliatory.
Yeah.
You are never the catalyzer, you're never the instigator or anything like that.
No.
Now, so be it. But my question to you is, where's the cutoff? If somebody, let's say, pantsed you 10 years ago.
Let's go with a more accurate, representation.
Sure.
About 4 or 5 years ago, a former coworker who is actually a customer on my route now got drunk and socked me in the face in a public place.
Right. Right.
Completely unwarranted.
Now, this was how long ago?
2019, I think.
2019. That's now 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, when do you stop holding a grudge?
When we discuss it. Or when I
and
get... Or,
and
or,
what if it never happens?
Well...
What if this conversation never happens? And if you wanted it to happen, if you wanted a resolution, wouldn't you go out of your way to get it?
Believe me, I'd like him to get his comeuppance, but...
See, you'd like him to get his comeuppance as opposed to the situation being resolved.
The situation's resolved. I'm certainly never going to knock on his door and swing at him. We haven't, been 2 feet away from each other since then.
Yeah.
He's out there mowing the lawn. He sees me drive by. He waves like nothing happened. I've seen his wife and his kids since then. That never gets brought up. It's just like, do I need to hold this grudge? Absolutely not. I have better things.
But you're going to.
No, I'm just not going to forget that it happened. And the next time he actually wants something from me, which is typically when people only try to get your attention, when they want something from you, I'm going to remind him of that, be it verbal or physical.
So you're going to, in the event that this person ever wants something from you, you are going to make sure to hold it over his head that he did something to you 6 years ago?
If he gets within 2 feet of me, yeah. Again, for context, and context is important, this guy just found out that he was going to be a father for the first time. I said, "Oh, congratulations, that's one," and that was genuine. I always admired this guy. Any of our close friends that are listening know who this is, and they'll probably know the story. Always admired this. He's the one that we used to do the prank wars with at the pharmacy, and always a laugh, always pleasant to be around. Then he changed jobs, he got married, he pretty much let himself go, he got fat, he got bald, and so I hadn't seen him for a while until this night he found out that his wife was pregnant. So congratulations, went on my way. Okay, he spends the night getting toasted. Before I leave, I go over to say goodbye. And again, there's no animosity, there's no hatred, no ill will. At least I can't think of anything. Again, I've always admired this guy. I actually almost bought a car from him once. No sooner did I say, "We're heading out, goodbye, congratulations," he just open hand slapped me. Now, this guy is 6'2", at least 350 at this point. His hand is the size of this football.
This fucking football.
Open hand slapped me.
Okay.
Out of nowhere. It's like an RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say. This completely took me by surprise. And the people I was with at the time were just like, "Let's just go. Let's go. Don't say anything. Don't do anything." Like, I was probably carrying at the time. And so, could I have done something back? Yeah, but I was completely taken off guard by the fact that this person that I used to admire had done something so incredibly stupid.
No words.
No words at all. No explanation. From then until this very day, no explanation. The only thing I could think of was he was drunk.
What was the after, what was his reaction to the act? Did he try to hit you again?
No, he put me in a headlock until I snuck out of it and, walked away.
Was he trying to fight you or was he joking?
I have no clue. I think he was just so drunk that he didn't really know what was going on.
Okay.
Now, I mean, to this day, I don't have the words for it. I used to like this guy a lot. I used to look forward to seeing him at work. And then I heard a bunch of stories, secondhand from people that think he's a piece of shit and think that things that he did to them and around them were questionable and whatnot. And it's like, I can't, in my current position, say or do anything because I'm he's my customer. I have to play nice. Otherwise, I may lose.
While you're on the clock,
I may lose my job. But I'm not going out of my way to confront him. I told you a couple maybe last year before, I had Henry at the park one day, and his wife was there with the kids, and we were just, because her and I went to high school together, so we were just, reminiscing or whatever. Um, didn't get brought up, and again, it's not ruining my day anymore, but it still just confuses the shit out of me that it happened to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
where did this come from? Why did he feel compelled to do that? Was it purely alcohol? Was it not? I don't know. And
Would one of those explanations make it more palatable?
the hardest part about it is that I don't know that it was out of malice or not. I'd like to believe that it wasn't, because again, I harbored no ill will towards this person prior to.
And nor he to you.
Not that I'm aware of.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, is there an explanation? Like, if it turned out he was blind, stinking drunk when he did this act, would it make it more forgivable?
If he apologized to me tomorrow and said he didn't know what he was doing, I'd completely let it go.
What if he came to you tomorrow and said, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I don't remember even doing that.
That would make me even angrier.
If he was so drunk that he doesn't even remember.
Yeah.
There are things that you have done, surely, that you don't remember doing.
We'd have to get into specifics for that.
But I mean, you must be able to.
I've certainly never done that to anybody.
But you must be able to accept the idea that perhaps there are things that you have done in certain situations that you don't actually remember doing.
Well, let's contrast that with things that are done with malice and, malice
all
intent.
things done with malicious intent should be, they should all be fired from life.
Like this coworker that
I'm not cool with malicious intent.
That we keep talking about. The one that, I called out for doing something stupid, and, he confronts me and he's like, "What's this all about?" I'm like, "Just do the job. You do the job the way you're supposed to. We have nothing to talk about." And he, and you even commented on this, says to me, "I have pictures and videos of you doing things you're not supposed to." And I said, "No, you don't. No, you don't."
Yeah.
And so a couple hours go by and we're in the same room together again. And he starts making his way towards me. And I said, "Stay where you are," repeatedly. He kept getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
And if he had gotten close enough, as I said to him, I said, "I'm going to create some distance," because I did not like that he was entering my personal space.
Right.
So if I had to get physical, I would have.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, he's like, "Yeah, I was just fibbing." His exact words, "I was just fibbing.
Just fibbing. Just a little.
I don't have any pictures of you."
Play.
Now, I have coworkers that think that there's nothing wrong with any of the things that he did, or at least they're not so severe enough to warrant the administrative leave that he's on. Like, this kid has a laundry list of things over the last 2 years that he should have been fired for. Or at least I would have been fired if I had done any other job besides this one.
Can we say what he did?
I'm not chancing it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm
laughing. I'm laughing because it's laughable.
Listen, if I lose my job over talking about it on this podcast, I will do what I have been thinking of saying to my coworkers and my bosses for years. If I get fired tomorrow, I will have another new job 2 days from now.
I find it absolutely
with less headaches and better pay.
All I'm gonna say is the proverbial Chinese fire drill is all my brain is imagining, and it makes me giggle. It does. It makes me giggle.
Listen,
a little bit.
That what he did
so
would never. I would never allow to happen to me.
So dumb. But people do.
Those of you who want to know the dirty details, text us, call us, email us.
Don't call us.
I've got him blocked anyway.
But like, I mean,
what gets me is the people that defend not even just him, but things like that. They think that second chances are endless, and it's just like, no.
There's people get 1 second chance. That's what makes it second.
Right.
You want to give people a third chance, you're gonna have to come up with a really good argument, in my opinion.
And fourth and beyond should be non-existent, but
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but there's no justification in my mind beyond that, because again, people think that I have it in for this kid, and that's certainly not true. I used to drive him around. I've known his father for years. I used to try and impart every bit of wisdom on him that I could think. Like, he's significantly younger than me, and I'm thinking, okay, let me tell him all the things that I was never told, so that way he has a much easier time navigating this workplace than I did. And that's been my philosophy with everybody that I've come across, and everyone especially that I've trained in the last, however long it's been since I've been the trainer. Because there's a lot of things, it's not even just in this job setting, but in life, that if you don't ask, I say it all the time on the podcast, if you don't ask, people don't tell you. You have to be the one to ask the questions, to try and get the information out of people, because if you don't, no one's going to think, oh, this person may not know how to do this or why it should be done.
Yeah.
Maybe I should tell them. No, because that's not at the forefront of their minds.
Yeah.
And so it falls upon the person who needs the information to think, maybe I should ask about this, but that's not at the forefront of their minds.
I don't know. I think that when it comes to second chances, and I'm not just talking about professionally, I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about, how many people do you know? How many people do you know who should never have stayed in relationships, who should never have gotten back together, who should never have married,
Living proof.
who should never have done this and that and everything? People want to dole out second, third, fourth, and beyond chances because quite frankly, they think that it's easier. They think it's the easy way out. And I think personally that people want to give, they want to believe that you should give people more chances because God forbid you have confrontation. God forbid someone say the fucking truth.
Living proof right here. And I hate to give, this person this credit, but one of my exes came home one day and said, and flabbergasted, was like, our exes are dating. And I'm like, okay, who cares? She was bewildered at the fact that her ex-husband and my ex-girlfriend from long, long ago were now dating. I'm like, okay, good for them. Great. If they're happy, who are we to judge? And so immediately this person reverted to like sophomore year, gossip queen fucking, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? But the one redeemable quality about this encounter was she said that if she hadn't divorced him, then these two wouldn't have gotten together.
Well, yeah.
So in that same vein,
nuts and bolts, as long as marriage vows mean anything, then yeah, that's true.
So in that same vein, if I hadn't stopped chasing my exes, the ones that, I didn't break up with, we may not have gotten together. I may have been in a much worse place than I am now and not able to move on and get myself back together and remember who I am and what I'm capable of and what I'm worth.
Well, I did that too. I for sure have stayed too long at the fair several times.
I shit my pants at the fair.
Several times. I have definitely stayed too long at the fair.
Is this the worst you've ever had to go boom on?
Shut up.
I'll hang up on you.
I legitimately though, I always wanted to be one of those people. I always wanted to see the potential in someone. I always wanted to
fix somebody.
I didn't want to fix anybody. I wanted to believe that the good in people will outshine whatever, fouls they may have committed or any foibles that they might have.
Foible?
And everything. Yeah, all this shit.
Is it like a Yiddish thing or?
It's a thing. It's a word.
Okay.
But like,
I gotta get out the SAT cards.
But the fact of the matter is that I think it was when I turned probably 30. I'm gonna say 35. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 35. I reached a point where I legitimately had to sit myself down and say, listen, I get it, but the fact of the matter is that regardless of how difficult it is, you have to admit when something just isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
You can want it to work as much as possible, but the fact of the matter is that making it, forcing it to work, and waiting it out is not necessarily the best thing for anyone. And that goes for personal and professional situations.
People have to be willing, not necessarily to change, but to, it's like how they say, I think in AA, it's like first you have to admit you have the problem.
Yeah.
You have to admit that the problem is there.
My first marriage, I'm sorry to say, I did, back in the day, as it is the 10-year anniversary of my divorce today. Yeah, right. When my first marriage was
Excuse me while I go kiss this.
when my first marriage was starting to disintegrate before my very eyes, I refused.
Do you want the Oscar now or later?
I fought tooth and nail. Was like, this is gonna fucking work. This is supposed to work.
I've been to that fair too.
And literally after 2 years of doing that, I couldn't do it anymore. And I had to admit to myself, I said, the fact of the matter is it's not gonna work. It doesn't mean anyone is bad. It doesn't mean that anyone is wrong. It's just not gonna work.
And it's not gonna be healthy for anybody involved.
Exactly.
It's gonna make you bitter. It's gonna make you suspicious. It's gonna resonate, and it's gonna fester, and it's gonna affect everything you do going forward.
Exactly. And I've had to tell people, friends of mine, that the hardest thing that you can do is probably the most adult decision you can make. And that is to admit that just because you want something to work doesn't mean you should make it. You can't make things work, regardless of how much you want them to work, because they're either going to or they're not. And if you force something to work, it's a lie. It's a lie outright. And I believe that in a lot of situations. It's the same thing with giving people in a job situation the benefit of the doubt over and over again. Oh, well, they're calling out, the day before their day off. They're not always sick. There's no way to believe in your right mind that they're going to be sick every time that they have the day off the next day.
Speaking of my coworkers,
like literally, it's impossible.
You know who you are.
And you can say, oh, well, and it's just excuses after excuses after excuses, because it's easier for people to make excuses for people like that than it is to admit that they are fucking off, that they're trying to get away with something.
And I say this to people, not even just my coworkers, but I say this to my superiors as well. I'm like, just don't fucking lie to me. If you want to explain to me that something has to be done a certain way, if you want to sit me down and make me understand that something has to be done for a particular reason, if it makes logical sense to me, I will accept that.
Yeah.
You don't have to lie. You don't have to skate around it or sugarcoat it because, you think that I'll receive it poorly or that I'll criticize you for your judgment. No, just tell me the fucking truth. Make me give a shit. Okay? I'm supposed to be looking to you guys for answers. I'm supposed to be, you say jump, I'm supposed to say how high. But, and I think I've mentioned this in past podcasts, but I was brought up to believe that, you're supposed to trust in people who are older than you because they know better. They've lived longer. They've experienced more. Biggest crock of bullshit I ever heard. Sorry, Dad, but you're wrong. Okay? I know so many people, not even just in my current job, but many past jobs who were older than me who didn't know two shits more than I did about anything.
People want to get away with what they can get away with. And the reason why they keep wanting to get away with stuff is because other people
don't call them out on it.
They let them.
Yeah.
They let them. And they know that's the worst part about it, is everyone involved knows that it's all a crock of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows. The person trying to get away with being shady knows that the person letting them get away with it knows that they're trying to get away with being shady. And no one is stepping up and just being like, this is not cool. This is not okay. And God forbid you do be the one to actually say that. That's when you become the ostracized.
Now, I will say this. Upon entering my 30s, I want to say, maybe even late 20s, but definitely early 30s.
Yeah.
it has become unbelievably easier for me to be honest most of the time. I'd like to think that I haven't really told many, if not any, lies in personal or professional settings for at least the last 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Have I lied in my life? Yes. Have I lied in the last 6 to 7 years? I'm sure a white one here and there.
Yeah.
I'm not racist, okay?
Stop it. No, I think I reached that point too, somewhere around the time I turned 30, where it's just like, if you can't handle the truth, then oh well.
Because
like, I'm not going to go out of my way to make everybody else comfortable.
It might have been, right before Henry was born. It may have been right after he was born. But I started getting into my head that I said, I don't want him to catch me in a lie. I don't want myself to be known to him as a liar. I don't want to try to get away with things. I want to stress to him the importance of honesty and, not hiding things and not, doing questionable things, even if you try to justify them, like, certain people I know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you can do something that, you think is beneficial or noble or whatever, even if it's by questionable means. That doesn't make it right.
Now, for the sake of not being hypocrites, you and I have to admit something right now.
Okay, hit me.
We did not tell that kid that his macaroni and cheese was made of vegetables tonight. We did not tell him that.
We didn't tell his brother that when we gave it to him either.
We did not tell him
that the mac
and cheese was made of zucchini and lentils, but he ate it, and that's why,
regrettably, but he ate it.
Never going to tell him what it's made out of, because the kid ate nothing all day except a handful of goldfish. Listen, he needed to eat something.
I've been around a while. I've been around long enough to see the kid completely immersed in greens. Like, I know you'll never believe that, but
I believe it.
The kid, his favorite snack used to be just a bowl of like blueberries or strawberries.
I remember that.
You saw him tonight. He willingly turned down cookies and ice cream.
Yeah, he doesn't typically want stuff.
He may look like me, but there are times where I'm like, that's not my kid.
Well, good for him.
And he remembers his manners. And like, we're getting in the car at Stop and Shop earlier, and I'm like, did you say the F word? He goes, no, never. Like, good man.
Good for him. Good for him.
Like, you pass that along to your brother and mother and grandparents while you're at it.
But yeah, no. I feel like we've gone off on a few tangents, but I think the point
necessary tangents.
I think the point has been made. Yeah. I mean,
I was completely ready to just like, side bench my topic and be like, let's just talk about RA the whole time.
Well, yeah, my hands hurt.
Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping.
I know,
baby.
This is my life now. It's forever gonna be my fingers hurt.
I wonder if Ben Stiller is gonna be in Happy Gilmore too.
Oh
God willing.
Well, anyway.
Do we have anything to plug?
No.
Isn't that wonderful?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Our birthdays are coming up.
Send us money. Yes.
January 31st.
I know when my birthday is.
February 5th.
I know when your birthday is too. Yeah, no, I got some shit coming up. You want me to plug something? Ready for this? I got an MRI on Tuesday.
You want like an audience? You want them to come in with the masks and the junior mints?
I gotta tell you, though, the MRI, the radiology at the hospital over here is really nice because they've got like this like stained glass ceiling that's very peaceful to stare up at. And they put the headphones on you and stuff like that.
How about the ceiling at the dentist's office where they have the fish and the
I would love to say that that's very nice, but I'm so in a panic when I'm there. It's very difficult.
I'm still not used to being flat on my back when I'm getting my teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been in like a reclined position, but like now these new hygienists are like, no, you're going to be flat on your back.
Yeah, no. And I'm going to have to get my teeth fixed soon.
And I'm still, waiting for the right opportunity to ask my dentist if he's actually related to John Ritter.
The dentist?
Yeah.
But yeah, This was okay. This was all right. Kicking off the new year.
You mentioned New Milford Hospital. That immediately got me like right on a train of thought for our next topic for the next episode.
We're going to talk about the New Milford Hospital.
We're going to talk about how this town is not what it used to be. Like I have memories of going to that hospital and being seen within like 3 to 5 minutes. You go to Danbury, it takes 3 to 5 hours.
I'm aware.
You go to anywhere else, it takes, exponentially longer. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, we don't have to talk about it now.
Right.
We'll talk about it another time.
Yeah.
For now, we're going to say that this was fun.
Au jus.
Yes, au jus. Yes, we're going to say au jus. And this was fun. Thank you for listening to That Talking Podcast out there in podcast land. We had a blast. Go to our website, That Talking Podcast. .buzzsprout.com. You can send us money. You can send us a text message. You can...
Wait, hold on. Why are they going to send us money? They're just be like, oh, here, take my... It's like that Futurama. Take my money!
Why not?
We got to offer them something. Maybe a back scratcher.
How about we offer them this
undying love?
This delightful podcast to listen to every week that we're not getting paid to do?
Not yet.
This is free to listen to. Ad-free in your life.
Listen, I mean,
this is how you support us.
I don't
pass it on. Tell all your friends, and if you're feeling a wild hair up your butt, send us some money.
That's another one of your famous sayings. I don't just proof listen to the episode. Sometimes when I'm having a really shitty day, I tell you all the time, I listen to it just to hear your voice.
You're sweet.
And Lance, if you're gonna call me gay for that, fuck you. No judgment.
No judgment.
Nothing personal.
But yeah, so also find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's. And
we're gonna start an open mic routine pretty soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right.
Send us ideas for songs to cover.
Maybe don't send us too many ideas, because then I'm just gonna have to say no to.
Yeah, but what if they're amazing? And what if they're ones that you wouldn't have thought of, and you're like, oh, we got to do that now?
Okay, blow my mind.
I'm gonna make you remember this when somebody sends something like, "Oh, we got to do this now."
Oh, and with the sound of the bell, the dryer is done, and
now you're turning this into a game show,
and it's time to move on. But thank you again, and we will be back next week. And for the 3 of us here at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star,
and I am Downtown Andy,
and we will talk to you later.